Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I have a little bit of a haul and a little bit of a discussion, I guess. Just a couple of things that I feel like I want to talk about and get off my chest. Um, and I really miss talking to you guys like this. And I'd like to say hello again to all my new subscribers. It's so funny because I never thought that this channel would grow, and since it has started growing, it just seems to be getting more and more rapid, and it's really exciting. And so I want to be here, be present, and contribute to all of that conversation. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me here. So, as you guys have probably gathered if you follow me on Instagram and my other platform, I'm not sure if I put it on Tumblr actually, but last weekend my grandmother did pass away in Serbia. Um, it was kind of really for the best because towards the end she was in quite a bit of pain. She wasn't able to do anything really, and from what I heard, because my mother was with her there, she just sort of fell asleep and drifted away, which I think was the absolute best scenario of any. And both my parents were there to help her and support her through the last sort of ending days of her journey. Um, so, even though I was incredibly sad to hear the news, obviously, um, I'm just so relieved and thankful and glad that she's actually now at peace and has found peace and isn't in any more pain, because that's really the worst thing as well. So that hasn't been easy, and actually I got these things that I'm going to show you now before I found out that she had passed away. So I got the call when I came home that night that she had passed away. But what I did get, and so I think these things actually are really significant to me. I don't know if the rest of you guys believe in this synchronicity and that sort of, that some certain events that occur to you are linked. And I think that getting this deck, because it is a deck that I bought, and this book, I think it's all interconnected for me, okay? Which, it was bizarre, but it worked out. So I went into the city to a couple of bookstores knowing that I was going to buy a deck on the day that I bought a deck, because I've been having a shit month. I was like, okay, I want something that is going to make me feel better and, give into that sort of Taurus materialistic drive that I have. I want a deck that is going to emotionally resonate with me. And for a while now, as we're heading into spring, I'm feeling more and more connected again with mermaid and fairy energy. So I thought, okay, I looked at a couple of reviews again of the Myths and Mermaids Oracle by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, and I also looked at the Oracle of the Mermaids by Lucy Cavendish and, oh, what's her name? The artist. I've forgotten. It's terrible. Selena Fennick. That's right. Um, and they had both at the bookstore that I was at, and I was kind of tossing and turning. I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll just get both. But then I thought, no, let's not be hasty. Let's not be too frivolous. I love some of the artwork in the Myths and Mermaids Oracle by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, but when I had it there in my hands, it just wasn't talking to me, speaking to me. And then I'd watched a couple of reviews the previous night, and I was like, well, those landscape cards kind of really bother me. Maybe it's something I'll get used to, but I'm kind of like, let's not be too hasty in purchasing this deck and adding it to the collection, even though I do love some of the artwork in there with octopi and stuff like that. So, as you can probably guess, I went for the Oracle of the Mermaids by Lucy Cavendish and, again, I'm going to forget, Selena Fennick. Okay, there we go. And I actually have like a lot of Lucy Cavendish books, but books as well as decks. And some of the artwork in this wasn't quite resonating, but the overall emotional feeling and the way that the guidebook is written, that really resonates with me. And the more that I've spent time with each of the cards, the more it's made sense to me. So I haven't actually used this deck yet. I've just been, you know, taking some time to get to know it, to kind of get our energies mingled and stuff like that, to get to know each other. Because mermaid energy is something that I'm feeling really called to start working with properly. And it's actually, and this is quite specific that I'm doing this video today, is the new moon in Leo, which is perfect for all this type of new beginnings, particularly embarking on sort of emotional regeneration and that kind of stuff. And it's just something that I feel like I really need in my life at the moment, just with all the kind of hardships, not only that I've been through, but the rest of my family. And I just feel like I need to bring in the really healing energies of water and the water spirits and mermaids and stuff like that, just to call that all in. So I'm going to show you some of the cards that I got, some of the cards in the deck, and just talk a little bit about how this deck has really been affecting my sort of creative imagination already, particularly in the way of dreams. So I'll start with, so it's numbered, the cards are numbered, and there are 45 cards. Standard blue angel box, really pretty blue on the inside. This is the backing of the cards, which I really like. So, as I said, I wasn't sure if I wanted to purchase this deck. But the more that I kind of get to know it, and what I like to do is I like to sit down and read the guidebook while looking at each of the cards, and then just look at the cards and then read the guidebook again separately, and then just really kind of acclimatize and get to know what sort of deck this is and how, you know, we can maybe benefit each other. So I haven't shuffled the cards or anything like that, not yet. I've kept them all in order. And, you know, I had originally put this deck in where I keep my sort of, where I kept my water altar, because since it's moved from that location to on my main altar with this deck, I kept it sort of near my bedside table. And it was weird because I had some really weird dreams with this deck near my head. Not weird in a bad way, but weird in a very like nonsensical dreamland, kind of strange, almost nightmarish, but not really nightmarish. It just such bizarre dreams where things were kind of like stepping into Alice in Wonderland kind of thing, and that was just really disrupting me and disrupting my sleep. And I thought to myself, okay, this is kind of really interesting in terms of my imagination and sparking my imagination, but in terms of me actually getting a productive good night's sleep, because I was just dreaming, and as you know, when you're in that level of sleep, you're not getting the deeper, more helpful, restful REM sleep that you're supposed to be getting. So dreams aren't actually the deepest rhythm cycle of sleep that we enter into. And so I thought, even though this is really, you know, interesting, and I've kind of never really been affected by a deck like that before, I thought it's just really not conducive to productivity and getting the stuff done that I needed to get done. Because I had my work in 2 separate exhibitions this past week. They were opening, and the preparation for that was just enormous. I can't even tell you the amount of work that goes into running and organizing and setting up a group exhibition. You know, obviously I'm not the only person in it, and so we were all working so hard for hours and hours a day. But you know, it really did pay off, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience, and the show is still on there, so yeah, I mean, it's been really, really good. But I just, like I said, I just felt like this deck has really affected my kind of subconscious creativity in a strange way that I never would have expected, but you know, in hindsight is kind of quite typical, I guess, of the way that mermaid energy would affect us, with the lunar cycles as well, and with the fact that our body is mostly made up of water and all of these things are interconnected, you know. I love this card. Maybe it's because it's so dark. Oh look, and it's the dream card. Of course it's the dream card. You know, it's so dark. And jellyfish, I love jellyfish. There are no octopi in here, which I'm a bit sad about. That's partially the reason why I wanted to get the other deck. As I said, I love octopi, love them. Octopi and squid. I have a tattoo of both an octopus and a squid on my body, and I have numerous shells as well. So I thought it's so bizarre for me not to actually already have one of these decks, because I am partially a mermaid, right? Yeah. Anyway, look, I'm happy. I'm really happy with these cards. I can't wait to get in to use them, because I know that we're going to have a very healing, loving relationship, because that's the kind of cards that these are. Similarly, I've also been going through my Tarot of the Sweet Twilight, and getting to know, I love this card. This is all about the Melusine legend, and ever since seeing Our Moon 513's review on the Oracle of the Dragon Fae and seeing that Melusine, this is the reboot version with the new Jimmy Manton artwork, seeing that version of Melusine, I was like, wow, this is feminine energy, and you know, like a goddess, a feminine archetype that I can really get behind, that I really feel a strong pull to, and so I absolutely love that she's included in this deck as well, and that her message is really important too. There's a lot of very fertile, nurturing imagery in here too, and maybe it's because I haven't been able to talk to my mother as much, and we are really, really close, that I kind of really I like that kind of mothering, nurturing energy, and also being able to find that within myself has been really beneficial. And like I said, I haven't even worked with this deck yet. I've just been really getting to know it and really feeling out the energies, you know, not letting it affect my subconscious too much, but having really interesting kind of psychic subconscious connections with this deck. So we've almost reached the end of the cards here, so I'll just flick through the rest of these, and then I will show you my other purchase. So my other purchase is a bit more towards the fairy earth side of things, because I really like balancing earth and air energy, which are what mermaids do quite a lot, but more so the fairies of nature and stuff. And I was very torn actually, because I was going to get the Nature's Whispers Oracle, yeah, that's the one. I was going to get that one, and I saw it and I thought, no, I kind of really came here because I wanted to get a mermaid deck. And so I was glad that I found them. Actually, another thing that I was really called to, and I very, very nearly got, but some of the artwork, I was like, look closer at this, Ivana, you're gonna freaking hate this artwork when you open up this deck. There's all this really plasticky looking digital characters, but it was a fairy Lenormand. And I was just like, this looks so amazing. I think it was the colors and the fact that it was fairies, and I was just like, yeah, fairy Lenormand. I don't even know how to read Lenormand. I wouldn't even know where to start with Lenormand. But there you go, I was gonna buy it. I was like this close to buying it. It's still in my head now, so obviously something's going on there. I like the other thing about this deck, back to this deck, I like the combination of artwork. I like the more digital artwork and the hand painted stuff. I like it all together in a deck. We'll see how it reads together in a deck, because it may be a little bit different, a little bit disjointed, but yeah, it doesn't really affect me or bother me. I've read through the guidebook a couple of times, as I've mentioned, and I really like Lucy Cavendish's way of writing. I also really like her sort of more environmental sort of concerns and how she puts that through in the deck with the imagery. So the guidebook is 100 and it would seem like it's 157 pages. There we go. And she has a really lovely foreword, and she explains the different types of mermaids, conchomancy, so reading with shells. She describes an experience that she had when she was a kid with a dream that she had about going down into a cavern and being faced with a mirror and getting someone telling her to remove her face. And at the time when she was a child, it was quite terrifying. But when she removed her face, it revealed all these scars underneath, all the wounds and stuff. And I actually remember having a really similar dream, and I think that's why this deck has really affected me in the dream sort of realm and in my subconscious and unconscious when I was younger. And it wouldn't have been that long ago, maybe about 6 years ago, but reading that, I immediately recalled the dream that I had. There is that song, March of the Pigs by 9 Inch Nails, and I remember that being in my dream, and I remember having my face as it is now, but just finding like my face on the side was coming off or something, and they were like, just take your face off. I don't know, I was surrounded by the voices saying take your face off, and I took my face off, and it was just, you know, my human flesh, bone and muscle underneath, and that bit in the song that goes, doesn't it make you feel better? And then I woke up, and I don't know, for me it was quite profound. It wasn't frightening, it was like, I'm finally revealing my true self in this bizarre, weird way. This is who I am without my face, you know. And from then on, I really had no problems dyeing my hair different colors, and no problems asserting who I was as a person, and finding who I was more and more from that dream onwards. Really just, you know, allowing myself to be myself and not having to conform into any social, cultural accepted norms, just really not giving a fuck anymore, and really, you know, getting to know myself and stepping into my own. And I think that dream probably had a huge part in it, and I think that was the stage where I had finally realized the type of person that I wanted to be and the type of person that I was becoming. And it's an incredibly liberating thing once you can figure that out, particularly when you're a teenager or a young adult or whatever. So now on to the second thing that I got, and this is something that I'd come across a couple of times, but I didn't get the last time, but when I saw it there today, I knew that I wanted to get it. So it's the book Way of the Fairy Shaman, and it is by Flavia Kate Peters, who is one of the writers or co-editors, I'm sure it'll say in the front of this book, of Mermaid magazine and Faerie magazine. Sorry, I'm just going to try and flick through that. Anyway, the idea of combining shamanism and fairies was like, wow, amazing. So when I saw this, I was just like, I can't believe I didn't have this before, but on that same token, probably wasn't ready for it. There you go. So she is a part of Fae magazine, I'm pretty sure. She's a contributor to Fae magazine, or a writer. I haven't had much of a chance to read much of it, but I did read the nice intro, and I read through one of the meditations that she provides, and I just know that those meditations are going to be really great, and really helpful in connecting with the fairy energy and journeying into fairyland and that kind of thing in this really beautiful, light way. You know, because I have quite a few fairy books on how to work with the fae, and the very first thing that a lot of them do, and I've been scared off working with those books is they tell me how horrible and dangerous the fairy beings are and can be, and how if you don't protect yourself adequately enough, you're gonna get into deep shit. And I have had some pretty nasty experiences in my early youth when I kind of suffered through some really bad mental trauma, and I had decided that that was apparently the time that I should also be casting spells and doing all that shit. And let me tell you, that kind of negativity in your own life is really not conducive to spell work, particularly when your mental boundaries, your physical boundaries, your spiritual boundaries, everything's falling apart and weak, and that is not the time that you should be seeking to help other people, seeking to connect with powerful deities, with other energies, because it can ultimately fuck you up, as I learned the hard way. So when I was reading through those books, I just, kept recalling that horrible experiences that I'd had, and I thought, nope, I'm not going to work with fairies like that at all. I can't even read those books because I'm terrified now of having a bad experience. And can I say to you all, please, please don't follow my example, okay? Fairy energy is wonderful energy, okay? I had this incredibly traumatizing experience, but you grow past that and you actually connect with fairy in your own way. And it's not destructive and it's not dark and hateful no more than the, Mother Earth is dark and hateful. There is light and dark to everything, and there is light and dark to the fae. And because we're human beings and we don't quite understand how to connect with these creatures or how to even describe them accurately when we have experiences with them, of course people are going to write about how they've had terrible experiences and how horrifying this is and how you must protect yourself to the utmost. I'm not saying don't protect yourself. When you do any sort of spiritual working, obviously it's paramount that you have a place that you trust, you're in a sacred space, and you know that you are unconditionally loved by certain beings, okay? And those beings, no matter what, will be there for you, okay? And that you are in charge of your own experience. And so from that point on, I decided that I wasn't going to look at these books anymore. They may have some handy hints and stuff like that. They were more centered about Wiccan fairy faith, so understand that that can be quite rigid, which is not really what I'm about. And that I was just going to go out into nature and do my own thing and go fairy spotting and just connect in that way, in that beautiful, light, luscious way. And since that point, I'm no longer afraid of dark energies. I'm not afraid of the darkness in myself, the shadow within myself, and the shadow within everything else around me. So I'm really finding that now is the time probably for me to connect with fairy in that more shamanistic, earth-centered, meditative way that will really take me further in than I've ever been before. So that's just something that I wanted to share with you guys. So I haven't done the meditations in here, but from the way that they're written, they just seem like they're really, they'll be really helpful. Actually, now that I talk about shamanism, I would like to show you guys something that I got last year. And it's something that I keep quite close to me, and I don't really let a lot of people see it. And I've never talked about it, which is strange, and I don't talk about it to people either, but I'm gonna show you guys now because I feel like it's the right time to do it for some strange reason. New beginnings, hey, it's the new moon, right? So, bear with me, sorry, as I dig through my little treasure chest. So, this little thing that I got, it came to me after I was at Mind Body Spirit Festival last year down here in Australia, and I've been wandering around and I came across this booth that sold these amazing leather and crystal wristbands, or spiritual tools actually, that's what they are more. And with this beautiful, beautiful amethyst and this leather spiral work. And these were actually done by a tribeswoman of one of the sort of Native American peoples. I think, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, this is charged with wolf medicine. And I had no idea what that meant when I got it. I just know that when I put it on me, I did not want to take it off because I felt guarded and protected and wise and strong. And I just thought, something that can do that to me, and I don't know anything about these people. I had no knowledge of shamanism, of Native American medicines. I do know a little bit about it now, but obviously, I mean, I haven't researched too much about it. All I know is that this amazing amethyst, inscribed by this amazing medicine woman, which carries this wolf medicine, has been it has been one of the best and most amazing spiritual tools that I own, bar none, you know. And that's in many ways. I was plagued by nightmares for a while because of just the stress and anxiety and stuff that I had gone through. And while wearing this, I was able to control that anxiety and that fear. It's helped me get through a lot of stressful times in my life where I've felt out of control. I'm able to step back and take charge and be a leader again because of this. And the message inscribed on the back is one that is intensely personal, and it's something that does mean a lot to me as a creative person and as someone who suffers a lot from, you know, the incessant, I'm sure a lot of us do in this modern age, is the incessant rambling noise of, what do I have to do next? Do I have to cook dinner? Do I need to wash the dishes? Have I washed all my clothing yet? You know, on and on and on. And, you know, it's just brought this sense of peace and silence and calm. And I would really love to explore medicines of the Native American people eventually. At the moment, I feel like this is like the energies and the benefits that I have through connecting with this have been so wonderful that yeah, I don't know, I feel like I will need a lot of time to properly research all of that stuff, and I do want to give it a lot of time and a lot of my respect. And so the way of the fairy shaman and all that kind of shamanistic stuff, which is slowly coming more into my being, is kind of it's all tied together to me, at least. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of it, guys. As I said, you know, I've had some really difficult kind of transitions in my life. My grandmother passing wasn't easy. It's still not easy, but you know, all I know is that I've got these amazing spiritual tools, and I've got my work, and my artistic work, that is, and I've got this channel, and I have all of you here, and I have all my spiritual guides, and those, you know, as I was saying, those beings that do love me unconditionally. So I just know now, as I've never known really before, that I am intensely supported, not only by my friends, my family, my boyfriend, who's been absolutely amazing. You know, I'm supported by all of you guys out there, and you know, those beings, the spirit, the earth, everything. And I don't know, I'm so glad that I can say that to you guys and not be sort of looked at as some kind of random crazy freak, which I am a little bit, but we'll get to that. Yeah, no, I just think it's quite wonderful. It's like the hardships that, if this had occurred to me at an earlier stage in my life, I wouldn't have been able to deal with it, but I'm so much better at dealing with that kind of stuff. My personal growth, reconnecting with my spirituality, has been just amazing. So I would encourage all of you, if you're ever going through a tough time, don't forget that there are beings that love you unconditionally, you know, friends, family, people that are there to support you. They'll always be there to support you, and beings that are there and will always be there to support you. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it, guys. I started off this video on a bit of a somber note, but I think we're ending on quite a good positive note. Is Yeah, I mean, love yourself, love each other. Um, I'll let you guys know when I decide to do a review on the Oracle of the Mermaids, because it is a deck, and I can tell now, it is a deck that will want to be used in client readings for other people. It is a very loving and all-encompassing deck, and maybe that's where, you know, that's where it'll go, because I have my Sweet Twilight Oracle. Every time I say the name of that deck, I get it wrong. It's Tarot of the Sweet Twilight, and that is my personal tarot deck at the moment that I've been using. I've also pulled out my Jacoli Tarot again. It's currently sitting on my bedside there, and I've been using my Lair Vampire and Vintage Wisdom Oracle as well. So lots and lots of Oracle decks have been coming into my sphere of consciousness this past couple of months too. So as usual, I would like to thank you all for watching. Please like this video, comment if you have anything that you would like to say, whether you've read this book, Way of the Fairy Shaman, if you have Oracle of the Mermaids, if you have any other Oracle decks that you think I would be interested in that have that mermaid energy to them, let me know. Please comment down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That would help my channel immensely. And thank you to all my new subscribers, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the later video. Bye!